Hey guys, it's Luca from Learning MTG, and today I wanted to talk about kind of a different topic. I wanted to talk about what it's like growing up as an Indian in America. So I think maybe it's the kind of thing that people are curious about. There's not a whole lot of us Indians. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands in America, but relative to other groups, we are quite small, and yeah, maybe people are kind of curious of what it's like. I think probably like the biggest defining characteristic is when you basically are growing up in a country and your parents are from a different country, so your parents are immigrants, you're kind of like pulled in two different directions, like two different cultural directions, right? So your parents come from a certain culture, there's certain rules, and there's certain ways of doing things, and then the people around you, kids at school, teachers, just society in general has a different set of rules. Um, well, in some ways it could be the same, right? And I think Indians do assimilate pretty well into American culture, and that is just evidence of the fact that there are a lot of similarities between the cultures. Um, I think most notably there's similarities in like we believe in equality of people, whether it's like gender or religion. I think those are both like strong values, both in India and in America. Also, like belief in free markets, belief in democracy. So there's a lot of shared values. But there's also a lot of differences. There are some differences, and there's two like main pronounced differences that I felt growing up, and I'll kind of talk about those. So one of the big ones I think is like school. So I noticed a lot of my friends growing up, school, their parents didn't care too much about school. It's like, yeah, okay, we want you to get good grades, but if you don't, it's not the end of the world. Um, and just like different expectations around school. So I think, and I want to be careful, right? I don't want to speak for all Indian people because I'm sure there's many different types of experiences that Indian kids have had growing up, depending on their parents and depending on what part of the country they grew up in. But I think in general, like there's kind of this implicit agreement that okay, as parents, we'll take care of you, but you need to do really well in school. You need to put a lot of focus into school. You need to get really good grades, and we'll take care of you. We'll support you in that vein, in an effort to do well in school. I think for a typical American family, it's like you're kind of on your own after high school. It's like, or even during high school. It's like go get a job at Wegmans as a cashier and then, pay for your own car, pay for your own college. You kind of support yourself at an earlier age. Whereas I think, at least in my family and probably most like Asian families, your college will be paid for by your parents. You're not really expected to work in high school. You're expected to put more of your time and focus into studies and extracurricular activities to get into a better college. So there's just kind of a different agreement, which means, if you don't do well in school, there's a lot more consequences because you've kind of like you haven't held up your end of the bargain, so to speak. So definitely that's a big thing. I'm sure there's a lot of like Asian and Indian parents that'll like freak out if their kids don't get straight A's, that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean that's definitely a dynamic that maybe people aren't so aware of. If you grow up in a country and your family's always been from that country, like, your parents are American and your grandparents are American, you kind of fit in seamlessly usually, and there's like shared values between what your family expects from you and what kind of your friends and teachers and so on expect from you. but it's different. It's different for me. Kind of, I noticed, my friends got to slack off a little bit more in school, and I could not. Uh, and yeah, that can kind of create a rift. It can. When expectations are different in different places. So your friends may be doing things and you're kind of not allowed to go join in those things, or uh, the opposite direction is you may not be, fulfilling certain family expectations, uh, because you need to go, to kind of like keep up socially with people around you. So that's a big one, school, and then I think another one would be like dating and social things. I think the expectations probably for most Indians is like you're not really gonna date a lot when you're younger. I know at least like I think for my dad's family it's like a lot of arranged marriages. So I mean I'm not too sure, but definitely like we weren't encouraged to do any of that sort of stuff or talked about any of that stuff. So another really big rift where the people around you may be expecting something different than what your family is expecting from you. So, yeah, just a quick kind of fun video. I think a lot of people don't realize what it's like to grow up in a different culture than what your family came from, because you can kind of get pulled in these different directions, and you kind of have to, at an early age, deal with that, right? You have to deal with realizing you can't make everyone happy, and so you'll inevitably kind of make someone unhappy. And yeah, I think that's a lesson that everyone has to learn in life, but maybe we have to learn it a little bit earlier. So yeah, I just thought this would be kind of a fun, interesting video. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.